I don't do live streams on Sundays. We're just going to do a very quick test to see if this works. Give it a couple seconds. Hold on. And we're working. We're live. All right. Or at least the audio is live. However, I did decide today to do a public live stream because this is, I just found out, the 6th anniversary of my channel of Square and Compass Promotions. So happy birthday, I guess, to Square and Compass. It is thanks to, there we go. It is thanks to the audience that I've been able to do this for 6 years. Thank you to everybody, especially who supported me early on. I'm not saying my stuff is great in 2026, but I think it's gotten a lot better than it was in I guess it'd be 2020 when I started, January 11th, 2020. So it's crazy to think it's been that long. But I figured, you know what, since it's been 6 years, I might as well come on live for a couple moments and just say thank you. Thank you to everybody who made this possible, to everybody who tunes in, who watches my stuff. And in honor of that, I figured, you know what, let's do an hour and see if anybody jumps on. Thank you, Random Solver. I greatly, greatly appreciate that. One thing I actually was thinking of talking about tomorrow during the 1 p.m. stream is I have is Freemasonry in Iran. Obviously, Iran is in the news for a variety of reasons. I thought it might be interesting to talk about Freemasonry in Iran, which has a really interesting history, including, for example, the Grand Lodge of Iran in Exile, which presently, to my knowledge, meets primarily out of Los Angeles. It could be impressive. That's one way to look at it, Jim Rat. I think the military operation is impressive in terms of what's going to come from that and what, the future is for Venezuela. We shall see. I was just in Colombia. I loved it. Colombia is a great country. It was a beautiful city. I know it's not Venezuela, it's next to Venezuela, but that whole region, I guess we'll see what happens. Certainly for me, my hope is everybody is as safe as possible, especially and including my Masonic brethren in Venezuela. So I hope they're all okay. But let's give it a few minutes. Let's see who joins. And once again, this is a celebration of 6 years of Square and Compass Promotions. Please take a moment, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Tell me congratulations if you'd like, or maybe you think my channel's not so great. That's fine too. Tell me what I could do better. Either way, thank you all for being here. And let's give it a few minutes. We got some hearts there. I don't know if that was smoky in the house, but I hope everybody's doing well. I also mentioned this before, but it's not too late to nominate One North Broad and the Philadelphia Masonic Temple under the Philly Favorites category. That goes until January 16th, 2026 through, where is it now? The Phillies Favorites Readers' Choice Awards. All right, let's give it a couple. Let's see who joins. Please take a moment, if you can, to hit that like and subscribe button. On this 6th anniversary, let's celebrate Freemasonry. I'm doing very well. So like I said, Dream Seeker, I'm going to be at Coffee Club tomorrow, probably between 8:30 and 9:30. It's an unusual day. It's unusual day because it's a Sunday. Very often I will post videos Sunday at 6 p.m., but since today is my 6th anniversary, I figured I'd jump on for a couple minutes to say hello. And I hope everybody is doing very well. I will be back on tomorrow at 1 p.m. and then at 1 a.m. It's crazy to think that it's been 6 years. And let's give it a few minutes and let's see who jumps on to say hello. And yeah, Might as well celebrate the successes that you get, right? Whatever they are, including 6 years, 6 years in. Thank you, Dream Seeker, Carlin Baker. It is going well. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. I hope you're having an excellent day also, or night, or Sunday. Um, but thank you, Dream Seeker, for the congrats. Everybody's suffering, not just Freemasons. Everybody's suffering. Hello, Dro Del Camp. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. But also, maybe Freemasonry can help to mitigate some of that suffering, or even bring some joy to people who are suffering a little bit, especially if they feel lonely or sad or whatever it might be. Um, Freemasons are not suffering because of the Masons, free or otherwise. I mean, I think in a lot of cases, suffering comes from just the world and the struggles that we find within it. I know that's very trite to say, but look at the news. You'll find some pretty valuable or valid reasons for struggle. But there's also within that some reasons for excitement and happiness as well. Oh, how's England doing? I do not know what the famous cans is. This is the famous cams. Ex anti-Freemason paint. I have no idea what all that means, no name, but I am having a very good day. I don't know if by ex anti-Freemason you mean you used to be against the Freemasons and now you're for the Freemasons, in which case I guess that's good. Obviously, I've been a Freemason for 20 years, and I'm always happy when people support it. No name. Yeah, I mean, I'm the children. I'm the child of a Freemason. You don't, it's not a requirement. A lot of people think it's a rule that if you to join Freemasonry, you have to have family members who are Freemasons, which is not the case. There are many who join who are not family members, but you certainly can if you have family. So XOXO Freemasons are not demonic. Freemasonry is not a religion of any sort, demonic nor otherwise. Freemasonry is a civic or community group. XOXO, please hit that like and subscribe button in honor of, as a way to celebrate the 6th anniversary of the stream. We're at 3,279 subs, almost 80. Freemasons, what you want to think about it, XOXO, the way to think about it is Freemasonry is a civic or civil organization, community group, community club. Busy, well, then you're not going to love this channel because Freemasonry is not demonic. You're going to find it very boring if you love demonic stuff because Freemasonry is not demonic. I still hope you hit the like and subscribe button. 33rd degree, that doesn't mean anything. Obviously, it's a degree within Freemasonry, but it's not a special degree, nor is it of any more importance than the 3rd degree. 32nd degree and prove it. Well, I am an 18th degree Scottish Rite. I'm Rose Qua. I didn't go beyond that. But this channel isn't really about proving one's degrees or not degrees. It's about me speaking about my experience within Freemasonry. XOXO, that is not the case. You've been looking up a bunch of nonsense on YouTube and social media. Find better sources. Find smarter sources. SH Maca. Well, if you want to help me be not broke, you could give me a super chat of just 99 cents. Quint, that happens a lot. Hello, Herzen. Very often grandfathers will pass, or not just grandfathers, but fathers, great-grandfathers pass away and you discover Masonic regalia. Sometimes it means that they were Masons themselves. They may not have attended meetings, or they may have demitted but kept the regalia, or it may have belonged to even a further generation past. My advice to you is usually to return it to the closest Masonic lodge. Well, what's popping up is baloney. I cannot make you the king of the world, nor can I make you the king of everything, science truth. Freemasonry is not putting anybody into kingship positions. What you can do, though, is hit the like and subscribe button, and that will at least make you a subscriber of this channel. I mean, Freemasonry does not pay. You have to pay to be a member. Usually, it can be as little as $25 a year, as much as 200, $500 a year. It depends on the lodge. Being a Freemason will not pay. Um, I loved the Stonecutter Simpsons episode. I thought it was great, and I thought it was hilarious. One of my favorite episodes. I don't know what the seven Hermetic principles are. I mean, Freemasonry kind of borrowed from all different sources, but I don't know what those principles are, so I couldn't say. I've never heard of them in Masonic kind of teachings. I don't do crack first stones, so I guess since they're non-existent, they'd be very clean. Choppy, what benefits do you gain from Freemasonry? It might be that it's closed because the lodge closed down. It might be it sold the building and moved to a new place. I mean, it's hard to say. It's unfortunate if it is always closed. What benefits you gain from Freemasonry? Asks Choppy Chipper. Well, that's a great question. The truth is, it's different for everybody. There is no single kind of benefit that you gain from it, right? As much as people like to kind of ask as though there's a single benefit. So, for example, for me, one of the benefits I get from Freemasonry is it makes me feel closer to my grandfather, who died before I was born. So I never got to meet him. But he was a Freemason. And so me being a Mason makes me feel closer to him. Some get the benefit of they make friends they would not have met otherwise. Some get the benefit of they learn and develop certain skills, memorization, running meetings. They gain more self-confidence, they become better public speakers. Some, they just like to hang out with guys, and there's a chance to make some friends, get to know them, especially if you are maybe more introverted and have a harder time making friends. Freemasonry can be a great option to do that. There is no single benefit except for at its very, very core. The benefit of Freemasonry is the benefit that you get from anything else in life, basically, which is it's something you enjoy doing. Like, I love listening to music. I love Simple Man, my favorite song. What is the benefit I get from listening to that song? At its core, I enjoy listening to it, and that's good enough. I enjoy Freemasonry. I enjoy being in a Masonic meeting. I enjoy the ritual, especially when it goes well. And even when a meeting particularly doesn't go well, I still enjoy overall being a Freemason. So, being a Freemason to a certain extent is a leap of faith. It's like listening to a new song or even going to a new movie you've never seen before. You may enjoy it, you may not, but sometimes you have to be willing to give it a shot. Um, so, I mean, Freemasons, Vincent, did not have any hand in the construction of Machu Picchu. I mean, stonemasons by definition would have, because stonemasonry by definition is building things from stone. Freemasonry did not exist till many centuries after the fact. XO, I have handsome body language. That's what matters. I mean, define power, science truth, because we really don't. We don't have any political power. We don't have any financial power. We don't have any power to make you famous. We do have power in the sense of we're a fraternity that's there, or not even a fraternity, but a club that's there for others, that's there for ourselves to help each other out. I think there can be a type of power in knowing you have friends and people that care for you. So there's that, but I wouldn't call that power in the sense that you're thinking of, certainly. Um, well, we do not have military, financial, or scientific power. How many members? It depends. There's no specific number. I mean, in Ontario, so in America, there's probably 850,000, give or take. In Canada, probably 40 to 50, I would say. That is true. YouTube often does block controversial comments. I do not know if 145 IQ is good or bad, but I'm going to choose it's good. Please hit like and subscribe. Rondo, thank you for being here. And thank you. I don't know if you heard before what I said, but this channel is now 6 years old. And thank you to yourself and everybody else who helped support the channel as it was growing. Here's to another 6 years. Here's to another 60 years. Who knows? Whether I was gay or straight, doesn't matter. Freemasonry does not discriminate, so no comment. Shout out Moffat Lodge 399, Richardson Lodge 136. Shout out to both of them. I hope that they are both doing great. I'm sure they are. Maybe one day I'll get to visit them. Billy Bob, I was born missing my legs, so I never lost them. I just never had them. In that case, I'm quite intelligent. I will take it. Um, my assumption would be my IQ is, 50 if the average is 100, but whatever. I'll take 145. Depends who you ask. I assure you, many people would not agree that I have a 145 IQ. But yes, decide to come on a Sunday at 6 p.m. just to say thank you for 6 years of this channel. It's a real honor. I'm grateful. I can't believe it's been 6 years, to be honest. Doesn't feel like it's been that long. And thank you to everybody who's helped me out. I was born missing my legs. I use a wheelchair to get around by and large, but hey, it works out fine. It works out well. It's a good chair. So I don't drink alcohol, and it's never been an issue. Some lodges will have alcohol as part of festive boards. Some won't. It's fine. Freemasonry is not going to force you to drink alcohol or anything like that. I mean, there's some lodges that are dry that don't serve alcohol at all. It just depends on the jurisdiction, the lodge, the rules, all that jazz. There you go. It's almost the same thing. It's almost the same thing. I mean, I'll take the dread questions, just so long as they're smart dread questions, right? Well, I mean, XOXO, being born in Canada in 1983, I think it's one of those situations where certainly the challenges I faced are much more limited than had it been otherwise. If I'd been born, let's say, in 100 years earlier or in a different country, I think the challenges could have been a lot greater, depending again on the country and the time period. I am well. Ian Mangham from United Kingdom. I hope you're doing well also. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to take that moment, hit that like and subscribe button. We really jumped on just to say hello. And again, thank you it's crazy to think it's been 6 years. Time absolutely flies. I can't believe it's been this long. Hello, Corey Wilkes. Thank you for being here. Well, thank you. I mean, I'm honored to be Canadian. I think I've said it before, I think Canada is the greatest country in the world. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love other countries. I've traveled around the world. I'm grateful. I love the United States. I've always said Canada is the greatest country in the world, in part because we have the greatest neighbors in the world. Thank you, Sarah. It's nice to see you as well. Well, I think it's where you're from, right? That's the key. It's where you're from and what you believe. Because of me, I'm 1 out of 32 million. How could it suck because of me? I try to be entertaining first one. I mean, it's a balance, right? I want this channel to be informative, but I also want this channel to be entertaining. I hope they can be both, right? We're going to give it a bit more time. We're going to wait to see who joins. As always, please take a moment, hit that like and subscribe button. And thank you all for being here. I mean, sure, I don't know how many they have guns in Canada, though, especially I think oftentimes in more rural or farming areas for pest control, to hunt as well for turkeys or whatever it might be. But yeah, I mean, Canada is actually well known, especially in various parts of northern Canada, for its hunting and its hunting lodges. Canada, yes, we had a great national anthem. So, yeah, I mean, again, I think there's obviously different rules for guns in Canada versus the States, and I can't get into them, but there's different types of guns and weapons for different purposes. Welcome from Quebec. Well, I mean, what I would say is just know what the laws are. So, Yuri, there's different rules in terms of trans membership. My view is the best is always going to be the best policy comes from United Ground Lodge of England, which allows trans membership. So that is out of UGLE, and that was in 2000 and, if I recall correctly, 16. We're going to give it a bit more time, wait to see who joins. Once again, we're really just on here to say thank you to everybody who helped make the last 6 years of this channel possible. I mean, well, XOXO, you can think what you want. I suppose my point would be there are people who, for whatever reason, identify as a gender different than their assigned birth. Good for them, right? It's not gonna, I have no issue with that. And certainly it's been happening sufficiently throughout history that my suspicion is there must be some type of medical basis behind it. I can't imagine, the numbers may change, but I mean, I remember first hearing about trans issues or the idea of transgenderism in the 90s. It was on Coronation Street, right? So, like, it's not some new thing that just happened. Well, I'm sorry that they tried and it didn't work out. Again, I can't speak for every jurisdiction, right? One of the biggest myths within Freemasonry is that there are, like, there is one set of rules or one global entity that sets the rules for all of Freemasonry. Freemasonry is decentralized. There are different rules depending on which jurisdiction and where you live. Yuri, for whatever it's worth, my advice would be have your have the person who tried to join and couldn't, have them contact the United Ground Lodge of England, see if there's a way that they can join a lodge that's chartered out of UGLE. Because UGLE has chartered lodges around the world. Certainly in Africa, for example, there are still many lodges chartered under United Grand Lodge of England. I believe in South America, there are several that are chartered out of the United Grand Lodge of England. Even the Order of Women Freemasons is chartered out of the United Grand Lodge of England, I think in Ontario. So, or at least has recognition with them, I should say. They're chartered through London out of the Order of Women Freemasons. So what I would say is contact UGLE. What I can say is, for me, if I were to discover that it would be a trans man was interested in joining my Masonic Lodge, I would sponsor them. And we go from there. I don't know what that means. Masons has a lot of Indians, whether it be indigenous or if you're talking about from the continent of India, but it also has European, Black, White, South American, Africa, Europe, Asia, Middle Eastern, Australia, like different ethnicities, different races, different languages. They are all represented within Freemasonry. And that's a beautiful thing about Freemasonry, is that it is a place of universal tolerance. I think if you want to talk about lessons you can learn from Freemasonry, it is absolutely tolerance and respect. We do not, Caesar, we do not. I've never understood this idea. So it's such a dumb thing because we accept Asians as well. Let's say Freemasons did engage in human sacrifice. Why would I admit it on the stream? So obviously, like, no matter what you do, you're screwed. Because what's the problem with conspiracy, right? You make up something that you have to, like, it's like anything, I accuse you of beating your wife. If I say, no, I don't beat my wife, your answer is, well, of course you would say that, because you're not going to admit to it. So you put them in a position where there's no way to refute the claim except to use common sense and proper judgment. But if you're going to make accusations like that, there's really no way to respond to it except to say the truth, which is we don't, and then let stupid people believe they're stupid things, right? Has it been 33%? Probably about that. Yeah, 14 or 15 have been Freemasons. I mean, It doesn't shock me. Freemasonry, one of the ideals within it is the idea of service, service to others, trying to build a better community. So, of course, it makes sense that they would be engaged in professions or industries where there's at least a presumption of service, like politics. I know that's a joke. I know a lot of people would say politicians are not about public service and that cynical edge, which I can't really talk about, or I try not to be cynical. But I think Freemasonry, because it does encourage service, it would make sense that they would get into politics, at least to try to serve the community. How much they succeed or not, I guess everybody has to decide for themselves. And also, there are certain skills you develop within Freemasonry that can probably are applicable to politics. Certainly, administrative skills, administrative abilities, the ability to run meetings, to organize meetings. You learn about things like Robert rules of orders. You become a decent public speaker, at least within a lodge setting. You develop a certain level of civic engagement, which is very valuable. It's not hard to get into Freemasonry, Jason, but it can. We did not either, Caesar, but it can take a while depending on the lodge and how busy it is and how long the application process takes. But it certainly is not hard to start the process, which is you contact a Masonic lodge and you express your interest in joining, and you go from there. That's really all you have to do. Knock on the door, say you're interested in joining, or write them a letter, send them an email, give them a phone call, and you go from there. Well, we don't have a beef with the Catholic Church. Richard Dealer, they have a beef with us, but we're vegetarians. We don't have beef with anybody. So, legend, I mean, that's one of those questions where there's a logical component to it in that you can always kind of make those assumptions or have those fears. But it's kind of like, right, do I consider the possibility that I have uh, I don't know, that I have invisible leprechauns in my apartment. Like anything is possible, but what you have to be willing to do at a certain point is you have to be willing to try to use your reason and your judgment and your common sense, right? I've been to 1,000 Masonic events and meetings all around the world, everywhere from the Philippines, Brazil, Colombia, throughout the States. Um, I have been to over 1,000 events in over almost 20 years, right? At a certain point, I have to just be willing to say, okay, based on everything I've seen and everything I can observe, what's the most likely thing? And the most likely thing is I'm not being taken advantage of, that Freemasonry is what it purports to be. Could I be wrong? Of course I could be wrong, but I could be wrong about there being no invisible leprechauns in my apartment. At a certain point, you have to just use your reason and common sense and judgment. Um, Dilbert, I can talk about the secret rituals, but I choose not to. And the reason I choose not to is a lot of different reasons. I've gone over those in the past. Part of it is the family recipe analogy. The rituals within Freemasonry are not secret, they're private. They're like a family recipe. It's a private thing, it belongs to the family, it's not mine to share. And sharing it would damage the bonds of brotherhood between past and future generations. It is also the case, and this is just as important to keep in mind, that ultimately, Freemasonry is a leap of faith. If I start to share even though it's not a religion, if I start to share the private nature of the ceremonies, people are going to be joining, at best, with spoilers. At worst, they're going to be joining and they're going to be expecting something that doesn't happen because every Masonic ceremony and ritual is slightly different between different jurisdictions. So if I tell you this is the ceremony, people will go into it expecting certain things and they're not going to be present mentally. And that's not a good thing. So you need to keep that in mind. The rituals are not satanic. The rituals, Freemasonry is not a religion of any sort, so they're neither satanic nor any other ick, for lack of a better term. Sorry, John Q. Public, it is not satanic. And it is not based on Satanism either. At most, like primarily what it's based on are stone Masonic guilds and taking what they did and metaphorically applying it to our journey through life. It requires a belief in a supreme being, corpse mankind, not necessarily God. When people hear the term God, they tend to think of it as a particular faith, right? So, for example, if you're Christian and you hear, do you believe in God? You're probably going to assume it is, um, of the Christian faith or Jesus or whatever it might be. Freemasonry, that's not what it is. Freemasonry does not require belief in a God, but it does require belief in a supreme being. So we have Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Hindu, Sikh, Indigenous, spiritual, Wiccan, Freemasons. We do not control the professions of anyone, from doctors to janitors. We do not control science. Freemasonry is not about controlling anything. Freemasonry is about being a civic or communal space. I mean, ritual is one of those terms that can be defined in a variety of ways. Some people will define ritual as anything from I wake up in the morning and I put on, sock, sock, shoe, shoe. That's the morning ritual to a full-fledged religious ceremony, right? Ritual is one of those terms. The extent of it tends to grow or go up, expand or contract depending on who's talking and the purpose that they're discussing. No, we do not, Jason. We could not. I mean, it wouldn't be within our control, nor would it be something we would want to do. Yeah, I mean, sometimes people will talk about ritual, and I think really what they mean is a habit. Sometimes people will talk about ritual, and really what they mean is ceremony. Like it gets complicated. Um, Lewis, I'm sorry you're depressed. For what it's worth, I'm happy that you're here and you can at least talk to the chat. I hope maybe you'll find some other people, quote unquote, IRL in real life to talk to. Um, Corpse, well, I'm not Christian myself. I know many Freemasons, however, who do accept Jesus as their Lord and Savior. It just depends on the brother and his personal faith. Stupid people. I wouldn't say the word stupid. I'd say people who don't think things through well, right? I think a lot of times people have this tendency to not give things their full breadth of thought, if that makes any sense. Dilbert, not a huge fan. I think he's overrated within Masonic circles and non-Masonic circles especially. Thoughts on, sorry, I feel overwhelmed. I'm sorry you feel overwhelmed, Jason. Again, I hope you can find some people to talk to. Again, IRL in real life. I have a tendency to push. Well, I can be annoying and people still tolerate me. So I think it's about finding the right people. And I think, Lewis, that usually starts with shared interests. So if there's something you are interested in, it could be bowling, knitting, reading, I don't know, sports. If you start with the shared interest, I find oftentimes that can lead to a greater number of friends. Because if you start with the goal of just I want to make friends, if the goal starts with just I want to meet people and make friends, that can be hit and miss if you don't have any shared interests. But if you start by pursuing your interests, you'll attract people who have those same interests, and you can attract friends that way. Painting and dancing. Well, I mean, you could take dance classes or you could take painting lessons. And honestly, I find a lot of communities, if they have public libraries, usually have like classes for painting or, there's some type of dance classes where you can do the first couple of dance lessons for free. Studios will do that, or like ClassPass can be a good resource. Richard, I mean, there are many stories about murder, probably in terms of stories, I mean, both true crime and otherwise. We're going to give it let's say, another few minutes. We're going to wait to see who joins. Again, this is a This is another live stream where really I want to celebrate 6 years of streaming. I usually do my streams Mondays through Fridays, 1 a.m., 1 p.m. I plan to still keep doing that. But I figured, you know what, celebrating 6 years, it's worth taking a few minutes to come on and just say thank you. Thank you for 6 years. I hope you're doing well. And I appreciate everybody being here. And thank you for making 6 years possible. Um, I hope they break the stereotype. I mean, I don't know what the stereotypes are, but I hope nonetheless that, especially if they're negative stereotypes, they help break those stereotypes. I mean, what I will say is, I think generally speaking, stereotypes, it's always worth trying to break them if you can. Um, Even if they seem more positive, I think usually stereotypes are self-defeating in that even if it's a positive stereotype, you'll be forced to constantly match it or meet it, and that can be exhausting as well. You want to accept that things are complicated. Humans are complicated, groups are complicated. They rarely fit into neat boxes or neat stereotypes. I mean, I've never shed tears watching that movie, Vincent, but I do enjoy it, and it was nice to see Freemasons portrayed positively in a movie, that's for sure. Good, Richard. I'm glad that your grandfather was a member. My grandfather's a member as well. More than that, though, I'm glad that they were nice to you. Um, because that is really important. One thing we need to remember as Freemasons is the extent to which we are nice or not nice to individuals. They're going to remember that, especially if they know we're a Freemason. And that reflects upon the craft in a variety of ways. So we need to keep that in mind as well. Um, oh, we got a lot of messages being held for review. That probably means that YouTube is flagging something. We don't. I wish we did, to be honest, Jason. Some lodges are actually starting to implement rules about not bringing cell phones either into the lodge room or turning them off before the lodge starts. I always, as a tradition, I leave my phone outside of the lodge because I'm so, as is most people of my generation and my age, so hyper online. I'm always checking Twitter. I'm always checking Instagram. I'm always checking whatever it is I'm checking. Part of it's because it's my job, and part of it is just because I'm so used to it that if I don't have that couple hours to leave my phone outside of the lodge, I'd probably go crazy. It's a great break from social media. I'd recommend every Mason leave your phone outside of the lodge if you can. Believe me, being stuck pasted to your phone all day, it's probably not good for anybody's mental health. Having a break, having a forced break from it, or forcing yourself to take a break is actually a really healthy thing. Um, I have my subscribers, I have my health, I have a roof over my head, I have food in my fridge, I have good neighbors. I have a lot of things that are wonderful. So I don't have everything, but I have many things. Shmaka, I would suggest perhaps you may want to spend more time focusing on the good things you have as opposed to whatever this crankiness is that you're currently experiencing. We got the goat. Thank you so much. Don't forget, you can support this channel by doing a 99-cent super chat, helping out the channel that way. It's going to be wonderful. Um, and I hope you are doing well. Well, I mean, I think it's rude, James, but a lot of people do it. It's just the generation, right? So, I mean, especially younger generations than me, are so constantly on the phone that it's hard for people to break away from it. Even, and if you're in a meeting and it gets boring because we're talking about minutes or bills, it's not always the most riveting stuff. It can be a habit for me to just reach for your phone. My name is Cameron. I believe me, I'm not always this positive. But online, because online is not real life, it's very easy to be more positive than, you know, when you're dealing with people face to face and they're being difficult. That's for sure. No, no. In real life, I do get more annoyed with them, though. That's for sure. Let's give it a bit more time, but once again, just thank you. Um, thank you for letting me do this for 6 years. Thank you for the support. Thank you for all of the help I've gotten the last few, especially this last year, and the growth I've seen. It's wonderful. I Are people doing that? I don't think I've ever seen an arm wrestling match take place at a Masonic temple, but if that's what you're seeing, okay. I do not know. All right, so we're going to give it another, let's say, 5 minutes, and I'll end this stream. Like I said, I'll be back on at 1 p.m. tomorrow, and I do plan to talk about, amongst other things, the Grand Lodge in Iran or not Iran, but Iranian Freemasonry, which is a really interesting topic, actually. Well, Rondo, I'm not going to, the divestment, I'm not going to say what does or doesn't happen, but keep in mind, um, there's a business meeting where there's no ceremonies, right? I don't think my family finds me miserable. My dad's on the stream sometimes. You can ask him if he finds me miserable. Believe me, plenty of people have found me miserable, and plenty more people will in the future as well. You can never worry too much about what everybody thinks. Um, You'll drive yourself crazy. We're going to give it another, let's say, 10 minutes. Jump in the chat, say hello. I hope everybody is doing well. Please take a moment to hit the like and subscribe button if you're new to the stream. And I hope you're doing well. Just going to wait to see if we get a few more questions. By the way, I've been posting a lot of my socials lately. If you want to follow those as well, that would be incredibly helpful. It's not just about YouTube, although that's a big part of my stream. It's also Twitter, X, Blue Sky. Follow me on social media helps out big times as well. As in Freemasonry or me personally or Canadians. Well, Schmacka, you might be right. I mean, it's definitely not going to be within a year, but you might be right. You might be wrong. I'm doing my best to make sure it's the latter that we go on for a very, very long time and not the former, which is we're gone soon. But all I can do is try my best. It seems like Schmacka, you are a little bit cranky towards Freemasonry. But if you care about something, you should try your best to fight for it. Which, by the way, you might very well not be successful, but you still try your best. I mean, I have no idea. I've never heard of. I mean, it could be an arm wrestling league. I mean, don't forget, many Masonic halls or Masonic buildings are rented out for different public events. So, within the context of that, it's very possible that they may have had some type of arm wrestling league, and they rented out the hall for that. or something to that extent. Clinical_rat. I think you're new to the stream. I'm not sure. Please hit like and subscribe if you could. I have no idea. I know that Donald Trump is not a Freemason, or at least all the evidence I've seen is that he's not a Freemason, but I can't speak for everybody. I can't speak for his dad, I should say. I've never heard that he was, put it that way. Nice. What's it going to be? You got, I know the part you, if I recall correctly. Actually, what part do you do in the second? Whatever part it is, I'm sure you'll do it great. Keep up the good work. And that memory work, as people, not saying you're old, but as people get older, memory work like that is a great way to keep the brain kind of sharp and to keep it going. So good for you. Thank you, Clinical Rat. I appreciate that. I do these streams, as you may have heard me mention, every Monday through Friday, 1 a.m. and 1 p.m. I'll be back on tomorrow at 1 p.m. But today is the 6th anniversary of my stream. So, or of my channel, I should say. So I thought it's worth coming on to say thank you and to say I hope everybody's doing well. And to all the people who have been supporting me, I am truly, truly grateful. You guys have made this possible, whether it be your support on social media, your support of this channel directly, your support on Patreon, being a channel member, being a Patreon member. Without you guys, it would not be possible. So truly grateful. And actually, we've got a few people joining the Patreon lately as well. So thank you for that. Even joining at the free level, it absolutely helps big time. So I'm grateful for that as well. Let's give it, let's say, 3 more minutes. So I don't know what you mean by portfolio, Vincenz. If you mean financially, Freemasonry is not going to make you money. If you mean just day to day, like your portfolio is in like getting a job or something, it probably won't help that either. Although it may increase your skill set to a certain degree, which could potentially help you get a job. It'll help you with things like memorization, running and organizing meetings, all of that jazz. So that might be worth exploring for you. Right? But at the end of the day, the reason to join Freemasonry has to be because you're wanting to take a leap of faith, because there's something in your, not even your heart, in your mind, in your reason that indicates to you that you think you would be a good fit for Freemasonry, or that Freemasonry is something you enjoy. And the one way that you can try to get an idea whether that will be the case or not, it's still a leap of faith. But the one way you can try to get an idea is by knocking on a Masonic Lodge door, meeting with the membership, talking to them about why you want to join, what makes you interested in it, and getting to know the guys. And you just kind of go from there. Right? But at the end of the day, there is a leap of faith quality to the whole thing. Okay, guys, thank you again. Thank you so much. I truly, truly appreciate it. I hope you're doing well, and I'll talk to you all soon. See you tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern.